Hey, this is Jack at TC3. Today we're going to replace a power steering pump on a 2004 Mustang. This will work on a 99 to 04. Okay, first we'll put a 19mm socket on the tensioner pulley and pull it like in a loosening manner, and that'll release the tension from the serpentine belt. And we'll just get that off and get that out of the way. Here's the culprit. It's been making a lot of noise and not working as good as it should. We have flushed it and put new fluid in it, but sometimes that'll do the trick, sometimes it won't. So we'll suck out the extra fluid. I'm just trying not to make a huge mess out here any more than I have to. And we have pans underneath to catch all this. Alright. You are going to need this kit to remove the flywheel. I rented this from AutoZone, and this is the kit. And you're not getting that off unless you have this. It's a plastic pulley. If you try to use like one of the old-fashioned flywheel removers, you're just going to break the pulley. So you're going to, in this, you'll have two collars that go together like that. They grab onto the pulley itself, and you're going to put this flat end piece in between those two collars, and then you're going to take a collar to go over the collars. There you go. Now you're going to want to just hold that nut that's by the flywheel and just kind of tighten this till it just holds itself. There we go. Here, I'll show you here now. You're going to hold the nut that is near the pulley still, and you're just going to kind of almost like you're tightening on this other bolt. Now that's not threading into the shaft, it's just pushing against the shaft. Okay, so as time goes on, get a little easier, and yeah, there it goes. It'll pop off. Just keep hacking. It'll come. At first it's a little stiff, and let me give you a better look at what this tool is. So these are the parts. There's two collars there. There's the piece that's going to push against the shaft. And to hold it all together, there's a collar that goes over the collars. So that's the one you're going to hold steady, and that's the one you're going to turn. This thing really works good. And for what it's worth, you get your money back when you bring it back to the auto place that you might have rented it from, so it really costs you nothing to use that. Okay, there's three bolts holding this power steering pump on. I'm taking this bracket off. You do not need to, but I'm replacing the water pump on this vehicle as well. If you just take these three bolts off, that's all that's holding this power steering pump on other than the hoses. So here's your high pressure line you're gonna have to get off, and here's your, now that's it. And while it's on there, I'm just gonna kind of get it started, but I realize it'd be easier to take this off once it's you pull it up out of there. There's enough hose, so we pull it like that. There's two hoses attached to this, the high pressure line and the return line. The return line just has those squeeze clamps on it, so you just pull it out and kind of pull it up where it's just easier to work on. Okay, so we get up there, we'll get that high pressure line off. This is the low pressure line. It's on the bottom side of that, and it just squeeze clamp and it just pulls off. So that's about it. You just pull the old pump out of there, and this is what she looks like. She's kind of messy. I just match it up against the new one just to make sure it's the correct part before I, put it on. Okay, that was the return line. I just want to make sure I know where it is and they don't get it stuck down there somewhere. That was the high pressure line. So we'll just slide the new pump into the mount there. Put one bolt just to hold it. I only have the bracket off for this because I was putting a new water pump on. Yeah, you can see that it's all shiny. You don't really have to take that off. Just the bolts will work. So we'll get them 3 bolts back in. And we'll tighten them down. Get them good and tight. I think they go to like 35 foot-pounds of torque. I just tighten them real tight. You're not going to strip them. And they end up being behind the pulley, so you really can't get to them once the pulley's on. I'm going to put a little light oil on the pulley surface inside of the pulley and the shaft. Try not to put anything heavier, grease or anything solid. Alright, so we're going to use the different, this is the tool to put it back on. It's different than the one I took it off. Now that bolt you saw is going to bolt into the inside of that shaft. It's threaded. So you're going to slide the pulley on, get it started. You could take that bolt tool and put it in there until it won't turn anymore. Then you're going to put the collar up against the pulley. And this time it's going to be a little different. This time you are going to turn the bolt closest to the flywheel, to the pulley, and that's going to push that onto the shaft. Now when you first start, it'll go on real nice and easy. As time goes on, it'll get a little stiffer. So you keep going until it feels like you can't do it anymore. However, when you take this tool off, the edge of that pulley should be flush with the shaft, like that. You should be able to see the shaft like right on the edge like that. If it's not like that, then it has to go a little further. Give your serpentine belt a quick inspection before you go and put that on. There's no use putting a bad belt back on the car. I mean, we spend enough time under the hood without shooting ourselves in the foot, you know. Okay, make sure you route that correctly around all the pulleys and idler pulleys and everything. Make sure the belt's completely on the pulley and not partially off. Okay, now we're going to remove the protective plug from the new power steering pump and put the high pressure line back in. When you get your pump, they're going to give you a new O-ring seal, so just slide that in the spot it goes, just beyond the threads there on this. And somebody had Teflon tape on this. I really don't think you need that. It's the O-rings that are going to seal, but yeah. So snug that up nice and tight, and you're going to put your return line back on. That just has the squeeze clamp. Yeah, so you could grab that with some pliers or channel locks or something. Get that tightened back on there like so. Alright, we'll get our funnel, and we're going to use merck V automatic transmission fluid. That's what this power steering pump takes. It actually calls for merck, but there is no more merck, so you're going to use merck V, which is a replacement for merck, according to Ford. So here it is. They're showing that they want merck. Well, There is no more just regular merck on. So we crank her up, no leaks, no more noise, looks like success. Thanks for watching.